and welcome to Inner Circle Guidance. Today we're going to be doing a collective reading, but for those of you who are new to the circle, hello and welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every single day. And if you're looking for daily short tarot readings, check out my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube Shorts. If you're looking for personal services or personal readings, I offer them through my website, innercircleguidance.com. Let's find out what the circle needs to know today. We have the High Priestess. We have the Six of Pentacles, Three of Swords. We have the Two of Wands and the Five of Cups, with the Page of Cups on the bottom of the deck, and I saw the Ten of Pentacles, so I can't unsee that one. Okay, some of you need to work on balance and focus still, and more specifically, intention. So what's interesting about the High Priestess is not only does the High Priestess represent intuition and higher knowledge, your higher self, your connection to the spirit realm, but the High Priestess is also the guardian of the worlds. She is the go-between between, say, your shadow self and your higher self. She is the messenger and protector of the spirit realm, of the shadow realm, and she very much is a guardian of that energy. And what I'm seeing here is that some of you are a little less in touch with that side of yourself than you think you are. And some of you need to rebalance your energy so that there's more of a symbiotic relationship instead of you trying to feed one and shove another one down or pretend that one side of you doesn't exist. And part of that has to do with intention. And intention is really important because your intent behind your actions is the driving energy of that particular action and that energy that's going to be following that action and the effect from the cause of you doing that particular action. And I'm seeing that for some of you, you've had a lot of disappointments in your past. You've had a lot of heartbreak and a lot of pain that has come from different situations in your life. And some of this has to do with heartbreak and pain with the way that you view yourself and how you focus on maybe negative mindsets or thought processes and allow them to kind of roam willy-nilly. Now, I talk about this a lot about how there needs to be a balance and a healthy love and space for the shadow side of yourself. But being intentional with your decisions, your actions, and your thoughts is just as important. And so for some of you, I'm seeing that you need to learn to differentiate between the different energies. So for example, we often think that sometimes our negative thoughts are just our shadow selves or our inner saboteur. And sometimes that's correct. Other times though, it's more of the energy of kind of your programming that you've been in for some time. And I keep hearing the words factory reset. And for some reason, the movie Toy Story keeps coming to mind. And I think that's because of the analogy behind that of what I'm getting ready to tell you. So oftentimes we end up hyperfixating or focusing on the wrong things. Or we end up thinking that certain thought processes are coming from a different space or a different part of ourselves. In the movie Toy Story, both Buzz Lightyear and Woody have buttons or pull strings that when you pull the string, you press the button, they have preset voice commands that come out. You know, Buzz Lightyear says, "Buzz Lightyear to the rescue," things like that. Woody says things like, "There's a snake in my boot. Someone's poisoned the water hole." Sometimes when we have these thoughts, we think that they're our shadow selves or whatever, but they're actually the programming that has just been kind of the default programming that we've had for some time because of the mindsets or things that we've ingrained into ourselves. And so sometimes these thoughts that come to the surface are actually not your shadow self. They're not your saboteur. They're not your higher self. They're just sort of these background thoughts that are still there and still, it's like when you press the button and you trigger it, it still gets said or comes into the forefront of our minds. You have to remember that your manifestations start with self. And the way that you actualize your manifestations is by being intentional and focusing on whatever that particular timeline is that you want to bring into your world. So it's the same thing as when you're listening to music. You pick a particular song that you listen to. You don't listen to 20 songs simultaneously. That can get really confusing and frustrating and overwhelming. So you pick one song and you listen to it, and that's the song that exists in that space during the time of which you are listening to it. It's the same as if you're watching a television channel, or if you're reading a book, or you're watching a TV episode. Choose to change the channel or change the song or flip to a different show or pick up a different book is the action. The intention behind picking up that book, changing the channel, whatever, is to bring the focus to a different energy of existence. It's the same thing with your thoughts, and it's the same thing with your manifestations. It starts with self. The things that you choose to put your focus into is where you're putting your time and your energy. And we've talked about this in other readings about how that has to do with currency. Your time and your energy is the universal currency and the universal language of the universe. It's the same as if you give a command to a computer, it's then going to fulfill that command unless something were to get in the way of that. It's the same with your thoughts and your intentions. You need to be intentional, and your actions need to be intentional. Your thoughts need to be intentional. And the more intentional you can be with this, the more quickly you can align to whatever timeline it is that you want to manifest, because you're putting your focus and intention into it. But some of you haven't learned the different subtle energies between the different energies, and you're getting caught up in these default settings that are floating around in your head that are from previous timelines or previous mindsets and things that have been ingrained kind of into the software and into the coding. Learn to extract that and remove it or fight it, almost like the way a computer has an antivirus and a firewall will allow you to step into a different energy and actualize different energies in your life. But you've got to learn how to differentiate between those subtle energies. Some of them are going to surprise you. Okay, they're not going to be expected. And oftentimes you'll come to find that if you meditate or you journal consistently, you'll start to realize that you have these certain mindsets, especially when you are free writing. When you're free writing, you write whatever comes to mind, even if it's not full sentences, even if you shift mid-thought. It's a practice where you just write whatever comes to mind as it comes to mind with zero judgment. And when you do that, you'll come to find that some of these default settings that you have will come to the surface, because you'll start to think things and write them down, and then you'll stop and go, wait a minute, do I actually think that's true? For example, let's say in the past you've had really poor relationships. So you start free writing about, I've had really poor relationships in the past. I don't know what this is due to. All partners are cheaters. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Do I really think all people are cheaters? It gets you to realize where your default settings are and where you need to work on adjusting your thoughts and your mindset towards certain things. Because the more intentional you can be, the more aspects of your life are going to align to what your happiness and abundance is for this 10 of Pentacles card. So your task this week is to work on free writing, or if there's another way that you can bring it to mind and bring it to your attention, then do that. If there's a different practice that works better for you, but try to pinpoint where these default settings are, where these pre-recordings are that are playing over and over in the background of your subconscious that need to be deleted, removed, what channels need to be changed, what books need to be picked up, those types of things, so that you can change your mindset and your alignment so that you're in more alignment with that 10 of Pentacles energy. Your intuition will help you with this. Your intuition will guide you, because you'll get that gut feeling oftentimes when you have these mindsets that you know aren't true. Your gut will have this sort of like clenched feeling where you go, oh, wait a minute, and you start questioning things. So pay attention, because the energy of the High Priestess, that guide, is going to be coming to you over the next few days to help you figure out where these pre-recordings and default settings are. Some of you need to factory reset in the sense that you need to start from scratch and break down all these different mindsets and start clear from a new standpoint, which is going to require you to pick up new healthy habits that you're going to have to be consistent with in order to shift things. For others of you, I'm seeing that it's more going to be specific areas that you're going to have to pinpoint and work on. But regardless, this energy is going to be coming in to help you shift these mindsets over the next few days. So be open and pay attention, be intentional and present with your thoughts. If you are, say, finding you're judging certain types of people for certain things, those are going to be little breadcrumbs that are going to help you find where these default settings are or these pre-recordings are that have been kind of left willy-nilly and abandoned and have been left in your subconscious to be removed or shifted, changed, transmuted, etc. So this is your reading. If it resonates with you, don't forget to like this video. Your affirmation for this reading is, I am paying attention to the subtle energies and subtle thoughts that are not in alignment with my 10 of Pentacles energy. And I am rewiring those default settings. And as always, may your life be full of light, full of love, abundance, and gratitude. I'll see you next time.